Greetings, Andy here again. And it's another thread I'm jumping on, which I'm getting into a habit. I don't usually, but I've done a few recently, and I like the idea of this one. It was kicked off by Morton Asted, and he's come up with the idea of eponymous or self-titled albums that weren't the band or the artist's debut, so sometime into it. And there was a surprising few of these, I thought. I saw a couple of other people do it as well. Richard at Vinyl Tap House and Alex at Beer and Vinyl. I like theirs too. I've got a couple of duplicates in here. I started off just looking at vinyl records, and I sort of mentioned on my last couple of videos that I've done a bit of a reorganisation recently, and guess what? I can't find two of them. Out of a handful, I can't find two. So what does that say about my reorganisation? Anyway, I got both of those on CD. So I pulled those out and then thought, hang on a minute, there's a few others I've got on CD, but not on vinyl. So I'm doing a mix. Let's get cracking. I'm doing these in chronological order, starting in 1968 with the Beatles' eponymous album, which is obviously known as the White Album. It's their double, but its official title is the Beatles. Yeah, everyone knows it. I'm not going to rabbit on about it. It's you know, a lot of people's favourite. It's a double, and it's a very good album. And moving on now. So now I've got an artist, and I'm going to take three of his albums because his first four albums were eponymous. They were only called Peter Gabriel, even though the ones I'm going to show are mostly known as either scratches or two Peter Gabriel 2, but actually it is just called Peter Gabriel, the same as the first one. This is one of the ones I couldn't find, as was the third. This one actually says Peter Gabriel 3, but that's not its title. It is simply called Peter Gabriel. This one came out in 1980. The 78 was the second one. And then the fourth is also called Peter Gabriel, so came out in 1982. So, you know, and to me, the first three and the fifth, which actually had a name, so are probably his best. But anyway, and while we were doing that, I did see Morton actually showed this one, but I was rummaging through my CDs and it was there. So and it's the Metallica's fifth album, which is called Metallica, but it doesn't actually have it written on there. Well, it just says Metallica on the edge here. But of course, that's known as the Black Album. And I thought, well, if I'm showing the White Album, I might as well show the Black Album as well. The next one came out in 1996. And again, I have it on vinyl, but I couldn't bloody find the thing. I don't know what I've done in my reorganisation, but I must have seriously misfiled a few. I'll come across them eventually. Anyway, I'm talking about Blur, of course, with their fifth album, 1996, which is, I think, is my favourite overall. This was a massive leap on it. You know, with this album, they completely had left sort of Britpop and the early sort of art pop behind them. They were getting rocking and you know, it's a great album. So and I'm still showing a CD. So this is the last of my CDs, you'll be glad to know. And again, I move on here, 1997, and it is Portishead's second album, which is called Portishead. You see there, Portishead. Not quite as good as Dummy, but you know, there's not a lot in it. It is a fabulous sophomore, as Americans friends will say, album, and it kicks off with Cowboys, which is a great track. So this is one I don't have on vinyl, but probably ought to. So now we move forward quite a few years, 20 years really. And this band actually produced their previous album in 2005, sorry, in 1995, I think it was. And then in 2016, they, after a 21-year hiatus, Slowdive released Slowdive in 2016, and this was their fourth studio album. And it was you know, it in a lot of ways it started this sort of resurgence of shoegaze with you know, with one of the greatest shoegaze bands, you know, getting back together and releasing music. And they, sure, how many have they done since this? One more or two more, I can't remember. But great album. And then into very recent years. So in 2022, the Mars Volta, with their 8th studio album, produced the Mars Volta. So this is quite a nice one. This is. It took a bit of getting used to, because it's not really remotely sort of, it's not that proggy compared to their earlier stuff. It really is very different from you know, from Deloused at the Comatorium and Francis the Mute and all that early stuff. But it's a nice album. I enjoyed it. And then finally, we're going back just to last year, and we're going to Sweden, and the album Goat by the Swedish band Goat, and this is completely sort of bonkers psych rock, and this is their 6th studio album, I think. It's quite a few in. It's quite a nice one as well, in a sort of I don't know what you call that, sort of wavy vinyl. And you know, they're just completely bonkers. They go in masks, and you know, they perform all in masks. They've got sort of flute going on, and I really like it because it is so bonkers. So there we go. That's my lot that I could find or think of that are eponymous albums that aren't debuts. So thanks for Morton for coming up with the idea of this, because it was quite an interesting one, I thought, too, once I got the thinking hat on. So thanks for watching. Cheers.